Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Greater Washington Urban League's On Track radio broadcast. I'm your host, Roland Turner. This morning, we've got a very informative and exciting show again for you with our guest host, Xavier Snow. And Xavier serves as the program coordinator of the COVID-19 Contact Tracing Awareness Program. And Xavier is here once again to talk all about COVID-19 and the Black community. With that said, take it away, Xavier.
I am your host, Xavier Snow, and I am the project coordinator for the Contact Tracing Awareness Program for the Greater Washington Urban League. The goal of this program is to further expand the knowledge and awareness of the Black community towards this deadly pandemic through a series of blogs, workshops, and podcasts. Today, I have the good fortune of interviewing a man I don't only respect as a businessman, but also as a mentor of mine. He is the co-founder of the DMV Black Restaurant Week and has done so many things for the hospitality industry, I can't even begin to name all of his accomplishments and the people he's impacted. It is with extreme gratitude and delight that I introduce our guest for today, my good friend and mentor, Mr. Furard Tate. How you doing today?
I'm good, big brother. You and I need to hang out. You introducing me like that, we need to hang out more together. You know what I mean? You got me feeling really good over here.
That's the goal, man.
Thank you.
It's good to have you. Now, before we jump into today's discussion, brother, for those that may not know who you are or haven't eaten at your restaurant on 8th Street, do you mind telling people a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do?
Okay, well, I'm a third-generation Washingtonian and been really blessed with the opportunity to help others see what is possible, in not only in the business world, but in their own life. You know, a lot of times you have clouds around you or glasses that don't allow you to really see. Well, I help people to see what's possible by connecting to the resources to make it real now.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm a testament that you are very good at what you do.
Well, thank you, brother.
Yes. As a business owner myself, I've definitely seen many entrepreneurs and businesses having to close shop permanently in the past few months alone due to this pandemic. I can only imagine how the restaurant industry in particular has been impacted by this, not only from a financial standpoint, but a spiritual and mental level as well. Can you please shed some light on some of the Black-owned restaurants and what they're going through right now?
Okay. Well, again, brother, one of the things that I do is here at the working with the Washington Urban League in their Business Development Center as a counselor, we know the pulse of what's happening with not only our restaurants, but just with the business sector. And the biggest thing is for them to realize that there are resources here in the city. So when they are ready to kind of pivot, understanding that the norm is different, and in this time frame, the first reality or the gut check is to know that there is opportunities to get you to your next level when you're ready to get there. We got to get past this period of stuckness that says that, oh, the pandemic has happened. Okay, it's happened. What you going to do? And so there's so many programs and grants and trainings and opportunities for us to support each other through this process. We need you to get connected and active in sustaining your business in a way that grows the business, because the community needs us all to survive and move forward in a thriving mode.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what are some ways that the community can support Black-owned businesses and restaurants?
Got it. I love it. First, the restaurant owner or the business owner first have to establish what condition are they in. You know, do a real evaluation of the business that you're in, and then begin to look at the resources. Because sometimes it's maybe not just cutting staff or making sure that you're practicing the proper COVID-19 processes in your business to make sure your staff is safe and that the customers feel safe coming in. But by you knowing what your needs are, you can begin to now identify the social services that are there for your business like they have never been there before. The Washington Urban League is a great place for you to start. Coming right on their line, or they emailing them, and I going to their website and finding out they have a plethora of programs that can sustain you as a business owner and get you to your next, right? But once you understand that, it's on you to start putting those connections together. As a community, it's on us to sustain the community through our businesses, right? Obama said, and a lot of people said that it's the small business that will hire us first, the small businesses that will actually provide a service that's unique, that is, can only come through these small businesses. So as a consumer, we need to look at ways to spend our money locally, not just globally.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, as we approach winter, it becomes even more critical that we as a Black community, we face and we brace ourselves for what may come next. What messages do you have for the Black community as we move into even darker times?
The business owner, you're the light. You're the light that we can get through this. You're not just the answer because they're a great place to come eat, but you are a beacon in the community that we're going to get through this dark time, right? So first, understanding that your staff is looking at you, your family is looking at you, your customers are looking at you, and that we got you. You're not by yourself, right? So once we know that you're not alone and there is a connection that has to happen as a community to sustain, you'll realize that there's 4 months of winter are going to fly by because you're knowing that you have the PPP and all the other resources to get you through, but you're looking to sustain yourself by having people support you in that.
Right. Now,
it's a community effort.
Absolutely. So as far as the the winter and all these things that are coming up, what would you suggest from an individual level that we do to prepare ourselves for the unexpected?
Okay, so once we got to the mindset that we're going to get through this, we've done a good analysis of the condition that our business are in, and we know what our need, if it's cash flow, if it's downsizing some to get through it, right? And now we connect to those resources. And we connect to those resources with the understanding that there is a clarity that we're going to survive. Once we do that, you're going to realize that you're going to get to a thriving mode. There's so many businesses that are now answering the new needs of customers that are, because of COVID-19, there's some new services out there that people are now pivoting to survive. They're pivoting to provide. And so there's a lot more money out here that can be generated. Once you clearly look at your opportunity, you are the answer as a business owner to a lot of new needs that wasn't existing this prior to these 6 months ago or 7 months ago. So you have to understand that as a business owner, you are in business to provide a solution to a problem. And there are lots of problems that you can survive solutions to and generate income from. You just got to get pumped up and get out there and do it.
Right. And even if you're not a business owner, it's also important that you recognize that, you have the ability to control and to influence the outcome of your life based on the decisions and the actions that you take. So
I couldn't say it better than that. I'm glad I'm sitting with you, brother. You're right. We have the power to control that. And when we activate that power and not give it away to somebody else like the government.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, COVID-19 is a serious and deadly virus that continues to ravage this country. What message would you give anyone who may not be taking the virus or this pandemic seriously?
Your first day in college, they say, look to the right of you and look to the left of you. When you do that, you'll realize that there are a lot of our closest loved ones that are not with us because of lots of reasons. So we have to take this serious, and we have to take it serious for you, the owner of the business, but your customers and your staff. Do not play with knowing that there's a mindset that your customers have to be in for them to be continuing your customers. So if you're not playing it safe and doing the right things, you're going to lose customers just because they're going to walk in your business expecting you to have the distance, expecting you to have all the other practices in play. So if you want to literally play with your business and not sustain your business, you play with this virus. It's real. And we want you to know that lives are more important than the cash you may make. So think about the lives that you're saving by following these processes.
Absolutely. That's very important. Now, despite all the economic challenges that have plagued us as a result of this pandemic, there's been a surge of opportunities opening up for people who are willing to take on certain skills in different industries. What advice would you give someone who may be wanting to start their own business during their time? However, they may not know where to begin?
Got it. Like our ancestors have shown us through all the pandemics that we have come through as a community that education has been the key to lift us to our next level of greatness, right? So we're asking you to use this time to educate yourself on whatever it is that you want to bring to. Don't just jump out there into a career without having the proper education or proper information to allow you to do that business intelligently, not just on pure passion. You know what I mean?
Right.
So use this time to get educated to move to your next level. My granddad would always say, an educated move is the best move you can ever make. So let's get educated.
Absolutely. Now, just curious, as you know that this project is centered around the idea of contact tracing. When we go into restaurants, a lot of times we're required to leave our phone number and our names so that we can be contacted for this issue. Despite this, contact tracers are having some difficulties contacting people who have been in contact with someone who has COVID-19 simply because they may not want to answer the phone. What advice would you give someone who may be apprehensive about participating in contact tracing?
Your friend's life is as important as your life. And so if your friend is actually letting you know that they have been impacted, I'm not going to use that other word, but they have been impacted by this, it is important for us to share this data so that we can reduce the impact of it connecting. So when you go into your restaurants, when you go into your store, and they're there and they are practicing the process, congratulate them and literally do everything they ask you to do. Give your telephone up. But if you go into a place that there are not, leave. And on your way out the door, let them know that you are not staying because you don't feel safe because they're not putting those processes in place. So when you get a phone call, understand that you're not just taking care of your success or your life, you're taking care of all the lives that are connected to you. So if you're thinking that, it doesn't matter, it not only matters to you, but it matters to everyone connected to you. So answer the phone and go through the processes.
Absolutely. I want to shift gears a little bit and go and talk about DMV Black Restaurant Week.
Okay.
So I want you to tell the community why DMV Black Restaurant Week is so important. For those who may not be aware of what DMV Black Restaurant Week is, can you please also touch on the significance of that week?
Okay. Well, just like the Urban League, we understand when we come together, we have the resources to sustain our community. And the Urban League has been doing it for years. So DMV Black Restaurant Week came together to sustain the Black food business, and not just the restaurants, the food trucks, the caterers, and with the power of collaboration, we understood that we could literally lift up those existing restaurants to a point where they can thrive because our restaurant industry also carries the legacy of our culture through our food. When you want to be able to go into a Black restaurant, be it from West Africa or be it from Southeast or be it from down South, you're tasting a part of our culture in every bite. And so DMV Black Restaurant Week understood the importance of sustaining our culture through our food businesses and keeping that dollar in our community also, as well as providing a legacy for our children to be able to operate those legacy businesses because majority of our Black shelves, the majority of our restaurants are open on purpose. It's their grandmother's recipe, or it's their grandfather's desire to see his legacy continue. So DMV Black Restaurant Week understood the importance of all of this. And it's on us to sustain our industry, our Black industry, not only in D.C., but in Maryland and in Virginia. And so we are grateful for our collaborations with the Urban League and persons like yourself to give us the insight so that we can empower other people with the information they need to be self-sufficient, a self-sufficient business owner, but connected to a resources that is sustaining us all.
Wow. I love how your face lit up when you talked about, the impact of DMV Black Restaurant Week. It definitely shows how important this is to you. And it just lets me know that your heart is really into it. So my question to you is, what are some of the success stories or what are some of the stories that you've heard people having to overcome in regards to them keeping their restaurants open?
Great. Glad you asked that question. The first thing is realizing that they're not by themselves. So that was the very first thing. When you go to DMV Black Restaurant Week, to the website, or when you go to some of our larger organizations like RAM-W or even Destination DC, and you see them now have a list of Black-owned restaurants, or even videos, when you saw all of the videos that came on Fox 5 at night about the restaurants, all of that could not have happened if we as a community didn't say our Black restaurants matter, right? So having us come together and to do this together, you have customers now bringing their children. You have grandmoms bringing their grandchildren on purpose to Black restaurants to teach them the importance of making sure that dollar exists. You have our, quote, senior citizens also getting food delivered, because you have restaurants now providing PPP food to our seniors because of, again, a Black Restaurant Week. So all of this comes together when we understand that our church, our mosque, our community-based organizations, and our restaurants, all these are entities that are part of our community that we have to sustain. And when we do that, there's a success that goes through all of these institutions that are born in our community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, as a community, what can we do? Because obviously COVID-19 is not just an individual thing, right?
Yes, sir.
What can we do to not only protect ourselves, but to protect our neighbors and the ones we love?
Love them enough to make sure that you want to communicate with them and you teach them the proper COVID processes. If your neighbor doesn't have a mask, share one. Have an extra mask in your car. Have an extra mask in your purse or in your pocket. Make sure it's covered, right? But also check in. We have to check in on each other nowadays more. I mean, we are so disconnected by social media, and so we want you to make that personal love phone call. We want you to go into that store, and even if you don't need the outfit today, buy it for the next time you go out. When you purchase food for yourself, make sure it's from that local businesses down the street, and buy two and share it with someone else. So these are the things that we can do to get us all through this time. Love yourself to do it right, and love your neighbor to teach them if they're not doing it right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, knowing you on a personal level, I understand how important family is to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And right now, we're in the holiday season, and, we're actually, coming around Christmas time. Can you just talk on the importance of family, especially as it relates to the COVID-19 virus, and how important family is at a time like this?
Yeah, well, I'm a third oldest of 10 brothers and sisters, right? And so my mom and dad has always told us to check on each other. And I was just with my son, and we're talking about going to grandma's house for Christmas. And he's like, well, I love grandma enough to do it over Zoom. You know what I mean? So he, at 13, understands that it's his role to make sure his grandmother stays safe, because he understands their immune system is totally different from his 13-year-old immune, right? And so we want to make sure that we have ways to protect. I love Thanksgiving on a Zoom platform with 5 different families and everyone's. I mean, that was like crazy. On top of knowing that there are caterers out there prepared to provide meals. So I literally had an opportunity to have a chef prepared food. And I don't know if I can say, but there's so many caterers out here that you can call, and they would literally make your Christmas meal like they make your Thanksgiving meal, and literally have the same meal sent to other family members who may not be able to cook. Because I have grandparents who are older, and to be able to send a proper meal to them, and it's just amazing how we have to be creative. And COVID is giving us that opportunity to figure out how we can share love using technology during this day and time of loving the season. Kwanzaa is going to be fantastic this year, because we're going to use those principles of Kwanzaa to really make sure that our community is connected.
That's powerful. With the Zoom on Thanksgiving, I had interviewed a nurse for the podcast that we're doing, and he said a quote that stood out to me. He said, a Zoom's giving is better than an ICU Christmas.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so relevant.
Yeah, that is real. Yep, that is real. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. So I'm just curious. What are your what is your overall message as it relates to COVID-19? What is one thing that you would like people to know in regards to just protecting themselves?
If you don't know by now that this is real, then open your eyes. This is real. And the new norm is changing every day. So stay connected to the new processes, and not in a way of scaring you, but informing you to practice these principles so that you are safe and that your family is safe. Understanding that we coming from a strong community that have come through lots of pandemics, Jim Crow and everything else. And if we use those principles that our grandparents have shown us, not talked to us, but shown us, we can get through this together. And whenever that church or that mosque or that community comes through something, it naturally brings us to be tighter and stronger. And so I know in my deepness of loving my heart that this is going to make our community tighter and stronger, and we're going to provide an infrastructure for our children to live in a world that's different, but with the understanding that we created as beautiful as we want to live in it.
If someone, let's say a family who maybe not have enough food or just maybe struggling on resources, do you have any resources that you would like to share with the community that maybe can help them through these times?
Well, first thing, I want them to connect to the Washington Urban League, because here at the Urban League, we have so many programs to meet you at wherever you are. All right, we do not look at you. We actually wrap our arms around you to provide you with the services. But you have to come to our website. Use our phone call to get connected to all of the resources that we have. So that's the first thing, that connect to the organizations. And you didn't know this, but I'm linked up with another organization, so it's all about collaboration, where we're about to feed 500 families on the 19th of December. And we're going to do it in all different parts of the city. And so there's so many opportunities, and we are asking that the family comes a part of this moment of giving. So I'm not going to just be out there having food. My son was going to be with me, and we're asking other family members, we're going to practice proper protocol to show them that when we come together to give, we have enough for everybody. We don't come from a community of lack. When we look at our community with the eyes of that there's enough is there. So we're hoping in our actions to change the way we have been thinking that, think whoa, and know that it's enough in that whoa for everybody when we sustain each other. So please, I ask that you look for opportunities in your community to get active in helping someone else, because someday if you haven't been helped, you will be. Give it back to someone now.
Absolutely. Pay it forward, man.
Yes.
I believe in that wholeheartedly.
And so, brother, I'm really excited that you have been, we talked about your generation, but building that bridge. And you all have this opportunity with technology to really connect to the world. So where I'm like, in that generation that we talked about global, y'all actually are global, right? And so how are you making sure with technology that our brothers and sisters globally also have this information so that they're safe?
Yeah, so we have the website, gwl.org/CCTAP. And with this program, we've actually created an online platform for people to learn about COVID-19 in an interactive way. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can get that information. So we have podcasts, broadcasts, blogs, information like that. From a personal level, outside of this contract, I do have a platform in which I have about 100,000 followers, and I support Black-owned businesses and financial literacy amongst millennials. And yeah, I just support the movement of virtual entrepreneurship. I think right now, like you said, it's a time to pivot, and it's a time to take advantage of the opportunities and really just level up. So
I'm glad you said that. And DMV Black Restaurant Week are really grateful for the 200 plus volunteers, and you actually trail, making sure that happened to help businesses level up technology. Because a lot of our businesses did not have the proper connection to their customers through online platforms, and they know that they are need that. They need to be able to send out a text to 1,000+ people that their doors are open or that they're running a special this month. So these are the types of things that we're asking your generation who know how to get on a platform, go to these businesses and show them how to better utilize technology so that they can reach even a larger customer base. And sometimes it's that customer that says, hey, let me take the proper picture of your food, put it on Instagram to let more people know why I come here to eat. So those are the types of things, bro, that I'm really excited to watch you change the world, what you do with technology, man.
I'm looking forward to it as well. Thank you.
So thank you again.
Now, I just wanted to say that I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me and the people. What you're doing for the Black restaurants and business owners in the DMV is absolutely inspiring, and it's also motivational. I wish you many blessings as we move along throughout these winter months. Now, for the audience that's listening, where can people go to connect with you online?
Okay, well, like you have taught me, because again, I learn a lot from you, brother. You sitting here like, I'm the teacher. No, brother, you've been helping me. And so you can follow me individually at tate.dmv on my Instagram page. But I want you to reach out to all of the programs that the Urban Lead has. I'm here. I'm really excited to be a part of this team here at the Urban Lead. So I want you to come see all the opportunities we have to help you and get engaged with our business center. We have one-on-one coaching. On top of one-on-one coaching, I'm a part of a team that has so many years of experience and connecting you to, the solutions that you need and your business need to make sure that you're sustained.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Brother Tate. I really appreciate you, again, taking the time and speaking with us. Sharing your knowledge and expertise is invaluable. So yeah, thanks again.
Thank you, brother. You are you are now creating the bridge for tomorrow. And so I'm glad that you allow me to be a part of your building your bridge, because like my son sitting next to you, we need brothers like you and sisters also in your generation to know that we need you more than ever before to get us all to the next level of greatness. Our community needs you.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that, and I'll take on that task.
Thank you, brother.
Well, this concludes another episode in our series on contact tracing with our guest host, Xavier Snow. Great job, Xavier. On behalf of the entire Greater Washington Urban League staff, our president and CEO, George H. Lambert Jr., and yours truly, your executive producer and host, Roland Marie Turner, we thank you for listening to On Track on WPGC Radio. On Track is a community service of WPGC Radio and the Greater Washington Urban League. We welcome your calls as well as your show ideas. Reach out to us at our website, www.gwul.org. That's www.gwul.org.